You looked in the mirror this morning, and for just a second, you didn't recognize the woman looking back at you. Not because of the tiredness, not the messy hair, or the stain on your shirt you only just noticed. Something deeper, like the person you used to be, is still in there somewhere, but you can't quite reach her anymore. You love your child. That was never the question. But somewhere in the middle of becoming a mother, you lost track of yourself, and nobody warned you that would happen. You used to have opinions, hobbies, a version of Friday night that didn't end at 8 p.m. You used to know exactly who you were, and now you catch yourself wondering, is this it? Is this who I am now? And then you feel guilty for even asking, because you're supposed to be grateful, you're supposed to be fulfilled, you're supposed to have it all figured out. But you don't feel like you have it figured out. You feel like you're grieving someone. And the strangest part is that someone is you. If any of this feels familiar, I need you to hear something. You are not broken. You are not ungrateful. You are not failing. What you're experiencing has a name. Almost no one knows it. And once you understand it, this messy, disorienting, beautiful transition finally starts to make sense. It's called matrescence. And today, we're going to talk about what it is, what's happening inside your brain, why no one prepared you for it, and how to find yourself again on the other side. The word matrescence was coined in the 1970s by a medical anthropologist named Dana Raphael. It describes the process of becoming a mother, the physical, psychological, and emotional transformation a woman moves through when she has a child. Now think about the word adolescence. We all understand adolescence. We know it's a turbulent, awkward, years-long transition from child to adult. We expect teenagers to struggle. We give them room to figure out who they're becoming. Matrescence is adolescence's forgotten twin. It is a developmental stage just as profound, a complete restructuring of identity, hormones, relationships, and brain chemistry. But while adolescence gets books, movies, and endless understanding, matrescence gets silence. No one hands you a guide. No one tells you that your sense of self is supposed to wobble. So when it does, you assume something has gone wrong with you, specifically. Nothing has gone wrong. You are not losing your mind. You are moving through one of the most significant transformations a human being can experience, and you're doing it while exhausted and holding a tiny person who needs you to keep it together. Here's what's actually happening inside you, and it will change how you see all of this. When you become a mother, your brain physically changes. This is not a metaphor. In 2016, researchers at the Autonomous University of Barcelona scanned the brains of women before and after their first pregnancy. What they found was staggering. Pregnancy reduces gray matter in specific regions of the brain, the areas involved in social understanding. That might sound alarming, but it isn't damage, it's refinement. Your brain is pruning itself, becoming more efficient at exactly one thing: reading your baby, understanding their cries, their needs, their tiny signals. The changes were so clear that a computer could identify which women had been pregnant just by looking at their brains. And these changes lasted at least 2 years. Some, researchers believe, may last for the rest of your life. At the same time, your hormones are in unprecedented territory. Estrogen and progesterone skyrocket during pregnancy, then crash within days of birth, a drop steeper than almost anything else in human biology. Oxytocin surges to bond you to your baby, but it also heightens vigilance and anxiety. Your brain is being rewired in real time to place a new person above yourself. So when you feel like a different person, you are. Quite literally, you are operating with a different brain. The woman you're trying to get back to doesn't fully exist anymore because your neural architecture has changed. This is why it feels like an identity crisis, because on a biological level, it is one. You are not imagining the shift. You are living through a neurological renovation, and you're doing it without a blueprint. Matrescence doesn't feel like one thing. It moves through overlapping, contradictory states, and understanding them helps you stop fearing them. First, there is the pull. Psychiatrist Alexandra Sachs describes matrescence using the idea of push and pull. Part of you is pulled toward your baby, with a love so fierce it frightens you. And at the very same time, part of you is pushed back toward your old self, your independence, your ambition, your body, your freedom. Both forces exist at once, and the tension between them is not a sign that you're a bad mother. It is the defining feeling of the transition. Then there is the grief. Yes, grief. You can be overjoyed to have your child, and still mourn the life you had before. Both are true. Grieving your old identity does not mean you regret your new one, but because no one tells you grief is part of this, you bury it. And buried grief turns into guilt. Then there is the ambivalence. The dangerous myth of motherhood is that you should feel only love, only devotion, every single moment. Real matrescence includes boredom, resentment, doubt, the occasional fantasy of getting in your car and just driving. This does not make you unnatural. Holding love and frustration at the same time is the emotional reality of every honest mother who has ever lived. And finally, slowly, there is the reintegration. The old you and the new you stop fighting, and they begin to merge into someone new, someone who contains them both. So if you're in the middle of this, disoriented, grieving, unsure of who you are, what do you actually do? You can't rush a transformation, but you can move through it with more grace and less self-punishment. Here's how. Step 1. Name it. Just knowing the word matrescence changes everything. When you can say, I'm not broken, I'm in matrescence, you stop treating a normal developmental stage like a personal failure. Naming an experience is the first step to surviving it. Step 2. Separate the grief from the guilt. Let yourself mourn your old life, without deciding that it means you love your child any less. Say it out loud if you have to. I can miss who I was, and adore who she is. Both hands can be full. Grief that is honored moves through you. Grief that is denied hardens into something heavier. Step 3. Protect a thread of your old identity. You do not have to disappear entirely into motherhood. One hobby, one friendship, 20 minutes of something that is only yours. This is not selfish. It is how you keep a bridge to the person you're becoming, not erasing. Children do not need a mother who vanished. They need one who is still a whole human being. Step 4. Find your witnesses. The isolation of modern motherhood is historically abnormal. For most of human history, mothers were surrounded by other mothers, a living, constant reminder that the struggle was shared. Today, too many mothers transform alone, in silence behind closed doors. Find the people, a friend, a group, a therapist, who will say the words you need to hear. Me too. This is normal. You are not failing. And step 5, give it time. Adolescence takes years. So does matrescence. You will not wake up one morning suddenly reassembled. But slowly, the disorientation fades. The two selves stop warring. And one day, you'll realize you've become someone you actually recognize again. Someone larger than who you were before. I want to leave you with a different way of seeing all of this. You are not losing yourself. You are becoming more of yourself. Matrescence is not the destruction of the woman you were. It is the expansion into a woman who can hold more love, more fear, more strength, more complexity than she ever had to before. The disorientation you feel is not a sign that you're doing it wrong. It is the feeling of growth happening faster than your understanding can keep up. It is the ache of becoming. The woman in the mirror you didn't recognize this morning? She is not a stranger. She is a preview of who you are turning into. And she is extraordinary. Becoming a mother is not just something that happens to your body. It is something that happens to your entire self, your brain, your identity, your place in the world. And the fact that no one prepared you for it does not mean you are failing. It means our culture has stayed silent about one of the most important transformations a person can go through. But you know the word now, matrescence. And every time you feel lost, you can remind yourself, this is not a breakdown. It is a becoming. If this video put words to something you've been feeling but couldn't explain, please share it with a mother in your life who needs to hear it. She might be sitting in the dark right now, believing she is the only one. And leave a comment below. What did no one warn you about when you became a mother? Let's make this the honest conversation nobody else is having. Subscribe because every week we talk about the real psychology of motherhood, the parts no one else will say out loud. You are not alone in this. You never were. See you next week.